Alright, welcome back, and it's time to continue. So, last time we did have that Azazel chase, which was a little bit unsuccessful, I would say. Well, not a little bit, it was pretty unsuccessful because of my own bad decisions in building my ship. Now, hopefully this video will be a little bit better. Hopefully there is going to be less missed opportunities and less missed targets. So, what am I going to be flying today? I have absolutely no idea. No clue, actually, because the footage has been lost for like a month or so, and when I was compiling everything, it was kind of at first a little bit messy to get everything into 4 or 5 different videos, but hopefully it's not going to be too bad. I don't know. So what do we have now? We have a retriever. Alright, let's go and eat the retriever. Let's start with the good old battle venture.
Warp drive active.
Alright, there's the venture. Going to do a 0-kilometer orbit as usual. I might have actually... Did I put this particular clip in the last video, or was this a different encounter? I don't know. I'll leave it in any case. If I did put this in the last video, my apologies. Again, it's been quite a mess to put all the lost footage into a couple videos, especially when it all ended up being mixed up and the time and date was mixed up, everything was mixed up, so mistakes bound to happen in any case. Food for the venture, I mean, yeah, food for the venture. Okay, and let's take a look at the wreck. Let's loot the wreck. Again, we have enough cargo hold to put all the loot inside, and let's warp out. Oh yeah, now I remember. I was talking about having to refuel the...
Warp drive active.
Having to refuel the ship. But again, in this case, thankfully there isn't... Thankfully there are stations around, so I can just go and dock with time. Obviously you can't dock with the weapon timer, you have to wait for that to go away. If you attempt to dock with the weapon timer, your ship goes poof because of the sentry guns that are camping the station. Sentry guns are the true campers. They never leave the gate, they never leave the station. Have you ever thought about that? How the sentries are the ultimate campers. Now next we have a Imicus covert ops, lovely little boats. I'm not really sure what they're doing over here, but I'm in the Astro, so I'll just go after it. Why is my ship not moving? Why didn't my little boat move? Well, that's pretty disappointing, to say the least. I was fairly sure I clicked on the Mac warp drive on time. Not very sure why I didn't want to work. Although honestly, that's been a problem that I've been having lately. The modules not working when you click on them, and it's getting a little bit annoying. Actually, scratch that. It's not getting a little bit annoying. It's getting very annoying because I don't know how many ships I missed because of modules refusing to work. In any case, let's go to the next target. We have, I think we have a Armageddon, but I am not, and yeah, I think it's an Armageddon. Okay, again, initially I was solo. I did send a ping to my friend, and usually they might be at work or they might be busy with work, so
warp drive active.
I didn't expect them to be able to log in. That's why I'm flying the Dominic's right now, or else I would actually pick something different. I think I do have a couple less serious battleships for less serious battleship targets, I think I have a Tempest I think I have a Tempest myself, and I think I have a Dominix, classic Dominix, which is also, you know, a fairly decent ship, especially with Bombard. Okay, well, it seems we will have a tackle. Perfect. Okay. So, one little trick that I use with the siege mode, I don't think I talked about that in the past, but when I send the tackle to alt, when I send the tackle, you know, when I send the tackle ship to go after the target, I turn on the siege mode. It's kind of like a handbrake, basically. I use it like a handbrake. I do a fleet warp, but my ship doesn't warp. My ship stays behind a little bit. It does give enough time for the tackle ship, for the interceptor, to go in and to tackle the targets, and then I can slowly make my way there to help out. So that's pretty much what the siege mode's secondary function is, at least in my use case. When I send the interceptor to tackle, I pull the handbrake, so that my ship stays and the interceptor goes. Very useful if you don't want to spend some time adjusting the warping, having your alt to go in and be the warping alt for the interceptor and stuff like that. Okay, let's put that handbrake into use and let's prepare to go. Oh, it's just an Armageddon. I did have one Armageddon a long time ago, which was a PvP fitted one, that did attempt to bait Domi Navy, and was a very was pretty funny when I landed with this thing on that Armageddon, because I think I nearly one-shot it. They did give a fight. They didn't really do much damage. But this thing just ate it alive, so... And that was, I think, a year ago. Actually, when I did get the Domi Navy, I need to double check that, because I'm not really sure how old the ship is. Could be a year old by now. I mean, it's been a while, honestly. Definitely been a while since I had this thing, since I got it.
Warp drive active.
They have been tackled. Time to make my way there for DPS. Now, I actually did not expect to nail the warping. Out of all the things that I didn't expect to nail the warping. This is just a perfect warp. Right in my range, and right in the range of my lovely angry beehive that I like to call drones. The only fail here is that I have a long range weapon, but you know, it doesn't matter. The high slot weapons are just cosmetics for the Domi Navy. And the Armageddon got destroyed. Lovely. Alright, well, that didn't take long, as expected. After all, I did say that this thing has some pretty dumb amount of DPS. And the reason why I load Bombard, you know, you never know, really. It could be a bait, it could also be a fairly poorly fitted Armageddon, also could be just your average build, you never know. A bait would be tanked, and in the case it's a bait, it's smart to just load Bombard and just eat bombers. 1 billion-isk Armageddon, or cursed one. Well, you have cursed ones as well. I almost forgot to mention that you have cursed ones like this one, where
Warp drive
you have a
active.
mix of shield and armor. Lovely. We haven't seen that in a while. Actually, I take that back. I actually seen that like about 5 minutes ago or something. Since I'm playing the game and recording and basically voicing the video, we had a Praxis trainer right like 10 minutes ago, which had like 5 different weapon systems and 5 different repair modules. So yeah, there are still cursed ships out there. Unfortunately, that's one thing this game never fixed, I guess. Out of many things. I mean, the rest of the fit isn't really too bad. It's just that shield booster. Why? Why is that shield booster there? It's so cursed. Next, I am in the Fiend and there is a Heron Explorer. Okay then, let's see if we are going to have our lucky day today. I love to hunt exploration fleets for a couple of reasons. One such reason being that they can drop some juicy modules, juicy exploration modules. I've been thinking to do some exploration of my own. Maybe I should do that. I mean, some of the prices I've seen are quite attractive actually. So I might do that myself. But at the same time, I've been also thinking about selling my exploration modules because, again, I haven't been doing that in a while. They really need to release the other faction analyzers. That would bring down the price of the current ones by a lot, and I think they also do have some offer good performance for much less price. Well, it was a cheap one, only almost 300 million ISK. Did drop something, but unfortunately the analyzers haven't been that that good. Oh well, still a good catch. Good catch remains a good catch. I'm not going to complain. After all, I said this before, you know. I'll say it again though. I play this game for fun. I'm not really chasing anything anymore. I'm not chasing any leaderboard. I'm not chasing, you know, first place in anything. I'm not doing any, and I'm doing none of that. I'm just playing and having fun. There is no point, honestly, in just try-harding things, you know. Maybe that's how I kind of imagine like an old man playing game. Yeah, that's pretty much how I feel right now. Not chasing anything, just having fun and enjoying the game while it lasts. After all, I mean, power can go out tomorrow for all we know. That alien ship behind the sun can actually be an alien ship around the sun. You never know. Anything can happen in the next like day or two, month or 2 months. So no point in actually try-harding things. Just taking things easily, lightly, and just having fun is what I think is the right thing. And I actually need to start applying that same logic in War Thunder, because that game pisses me off, but at the same time, you know, it's fun. Anyway, we have an Apocalypse and a nice little dual Fiend action right now. A dual bubble. Isn't this just lovely? Did the Apocalypse wake up? We're about to find out. We are now in armor. I think the Apocalypse is still sleeping. Doing a nice little full speed orbit at 70-90 kilometers, which is ideal for the Fiend's bubble. You can actually use the bubble to keep the target in the bubble without having to actually get close to them, which I do like a lot about the Fiend and about the bubbles in general. Actually, you can safely orbit without having to worry about having tackle. Well, they did try to fight back, but that didn't work well. You are not going to be tracking an afterburner Fiend orbiting that close. They are just way too fast. They could, I mean, I say way too fast. My Fiend compared to other Fiends is a potato, alright? My Fiend compared to my friend's Fiend is a potato ship, alright? My friend's Fiend is a much better ship, not even in the same league actually. Primarily because of better build and in general overall better build and implant, and I think the nanocore also does play a role, but it was a 1.5 billion ISK Apocalypse. It was a good catch. And a double Fiend action is something I do start to enjoy quite a lot. To be honest, I should fly this ship a lot more often. Nowadays, I think I'm kind of back to flying smaller ships.
We're under
I think
attack.
I'm back to flying smaller ships, because again I do enjoy them a lot more. Next we have, this is the BHAALGORN chase. Okay, the lovely BHAALGORN chase that I talked about before. So we did catch a BHAALGORN, and it's actually pretty similar to the situation with the
Warning, capacitor running low.
a very similar situation with the Azazel. The only difference being that this time I'm actually a bit more, I think I'm a little bit more prepared.
Shield damaged.
Primarily because I will fit a web this time around.
Warp drive active.
And this is the moment where I went to the station. My friend should be holding. The idea and goal is to attempt and catch the. The idea is me to be the tackle. I'm supposed to hold the BHAALGORN, and my friend is supposed to take a battleship and do the DPS. That's the original plan, and that was the plan in the Azazel part in the last video. That was the plan, at least. However, it didn't really go according to plan
Docking request accepted.
because I was too slow. Okay, so where are my... Oh, I need to be a little careful with what I'm picking here. Where is my... actually, what am I going to fit? I need to see what I was doing. I think I did fit a web. I should have fitted the web, I think. Not entirely sure. I'm fitting a adaptive, okay. Well, I just did that. I just fitted an adaptive. Lovely.
Undocking. Docking request accepted.
Well, I guess not all ships are built equally. I was actually convinced that I did have a web for this particular encounter. Don't worry, my friend is still doing really well there. My game doesn't do really well, and my game crashed. Excellent. Oh, what could possibly go wrong? Am I right? What could possibly go wrong? Am I right? Game crashing at the most crucial moment where I actually need to be in the game as quickly as possible. Oh well, I'm fairly sure my friend is still holding just fine. A little bit late I am, but shouldn't be much of a big problem. And we just missed a Gila. While recording, I'm also playing. There was a Gila that we missed, unfortunately. Yeah, the game is completely glitching now. We're looking at... What is that little icon there? Absolutely glitch to the max. That was pretty funny. Anyway, let's go and warp to the... Let's warp to
drive
the...
active.
To the gate. hopefully everything is fine. That's a lot of stuff happening in local there. A lot of stuff happening in local there. Okay, there's the BHAALGORN. I will go dive right into the BHAALGORN. My friend's still fighting. I'm about to take over. I'm about to take over the tackle business.
We're under attack.
Okay, this BHAALGORN has one Nosferatu, I believe, one web. Okay, now my friend has to go change ships. After all, with two Fiends this will take a very long time, as we have learned in the couple months ago when we fought that LowSec BHAALGORN. Why is the BHAALGORN, like, the BHAALGORN is one of the very few ships that kind of still is going to give you a good fight if you give the you have the right ship. It will just give a very good fight. And if I sound distracted again, I'm playing the game in the background, I'm multitasking like 3 things at once, so sometimes my overall my attention gets drawn back to the game up above on the tablet, because we have a target and I have to kind of balance the attention on both screens there. Okay, so let's see how I manage now. I'm actually holding better now. I think I'm holding better because of the... I think it could be because this ship is doing less damage, although at the same time it could be something completely different. Could be that they're using only 2 Nosferatus. How many Nosferatus did the last one? How many? 3? I think the Azazel 2 or 3, or maybe about the same. Well, I'm capped. Although in this case I'm actually able to do a 0-kilometer orbit around the BHAALGORN. So I don't need to use my booster, I can just orbit around it and I don't have to worry about things, because I'm not going to be taking damage. But I have to worry about one thing though. I have to worry about being able to jump through the gate if the BHAALGORN decides to jump through the gate. After all, my job is to prevent this ship from running away. Now, we stopped firing, and now both of our ships are kind of waiting out the time. Actually, I'm still having the... They're attempting to warp, I think. I'm not really sure what they're trying to do in this case. That's why I'm looking at the ship. Okay, there might be attempting to warp, bubble up. I'm still maintaining a 0-kilometer orbit, attempting a 0-kilometer orbit. But when I open up the bubble, they will attempt to go back to the gate. After all, they are at 0. And being at 0 is kind of a problem by itself, because they can pick whether they want to jump or if they want to warp. In this case, they decide to jump. So, I will follow, obviously, naturally, I will follow. It's a BHAALGORN, it should be slow. I don't expect BHAALGORN to be fast. Even if I'm a couple seconds behind, I'm going to be easily able to catch up to the BHAALGORN, and I will be able to follow the BHAALGORN without much of a problem. So, we are going in, and where is the BHAALGORN? Oh, I think... Well, we will check that out very soon, where the BHAALGORN is. Now, it's not on the gate here, and definitely no way that they have been fast enough to warp. However, I will give it a scan and we will see what will happen. We have 2 signatures, and this is where I noticed... Oh, we have a ship at 10 million kilometers. They logged in space. Oh, that's going to be a free one. But unfortunately, my ship decided to be dumb, and my ship decided to jump through the gate. Perfect, you know. However, not a big deal. We still have enough time on the timer. They still have the yellow timer. I have like 2 minutes left, or a minute and a half left. Plenty of time to warp back, to jump back and go back to the BHAALGORN. Okay, let's jump in. And hopefully they're still going to be sitting there. So let's go and scan. I already scanned them, so let's just yeet at 0. Let's go. If the game allows me to do that, actually. It took me 3 times to actually warp. Wow, I mean this is some lagfest and bugfest.
Warp
Imagine
drive
if the
active.
game... Imagine if the game crashes right after I tackle it. That would be pretty... I would be pretty mad. Would happen though. Would happen. There's been times when the game would do that. I mean, they already crashed once. There is the BHAALGORN. Alrighty then. Let's see if... They did log out in space and they just woke up. Perfect. Bubble up. And let's just open fire. 0 kilometer orbit established. They did log out in space, completely logging out in space. That's why the name wasn't in local. That's why I was a little bit confused. I mean, there's no way that they've been that fast to leave the system. Okay, double webbed, and we'll have to use my afterburner, I believe. Yeah, bubble. Why is my bubble off? Oh yeah, I was waiting for the LowSec to land inside the bubble. Well, I failed on that, I guess. Bubble is still off. About to be enabled though. Well, they did not warp off because they have been pointed. That's perfect. I'll just open up the bubble and I'll just maintain a 0 kilometer orbit around the BHAALGORN. Two webs on me and Nosferatus on the LowSec. It does feel tanky. I mean, I'm using lasers versus armor, and I'm confused by tankiness. Obviously, it's going to do less damage since, you know, lasers and armor do that. I mean, everyone knows that armor is perfect for a good tank against lasers, and because of the good natural high resistances that you find on armor tank ships. Well, even with the LowSec, it actually takes some time to go through the armor of this ship. As I mentioned before, BHAALGORN, Azazel, these ships, Blood Raider ships can still give you a very good experience fighting them, to feel like the old school, the old days, because they are still going to offer a very good overall. I mean, they offer good performance, but unfortunately the problem with Blood Raiders is that so many stabs, so many ways to evade E-War that unless they would be good ships, but you would have to remove a lot of magic things that the game has received. Way too many E-War resistances, way too many nanocores that bypass webs, bypass Nosferatus, neutralizers, stuff like that. And that's the main problem with Blood Raider ships. Well, that's a tanky one. That's a lot of extra armor there. That's that implant again that gives extra armor. Well, my ship is doing really well so far. The LowSec is also holding really well. The LowSec is fairly tanky, fairly well built. I don't know the exact build, and if I knew the exact build, I probably wouldn't be allowed to share that build. But it's a fairly tanky LowSec, and holding really well against lasers seems to be working. We are now at low armor. I think the implant did enter cooldown phase on the BHAALGORN. Now we are hitting the hull. Well, still some armor left, I guess. Maybe they have a damage control, not entirely sure. But in any case, I will maintain a 0 kilometer orbit. I did turn off my... actually, never mind, I spoke too soon. My afterburner was off, now it's engaged again. Once the armor, that's a little bit of armor left, just a tiny bit of armor left. They're repairing, so definitely an armor tank. Well, okay, seems that they are now tanking us. Never mind, I take that back. Feels like Bombard kicked in. Which means the whole of the ship is about to just disappear. Well, oh, never mind. More armor. Oh, and full armor now with the extender coming up. Well, that was that's a tanky one. It's definitely a beefy BHAALGORN, not gonna lie. Although, once that extra armor goes away, once the magic armor goes away, the little bit of armor left will go down, and then just hold. Within the next minute, I think the BHAALGORN will be destroyed. Extra armor went away, and now still, ship is still alive somehow. I gotta say, that's a definitely. This feels like 2020 evacuous, honestly. This entire encounter felt like the old ways, the old days of the game. Armor gone, and I expect the ship to pop any second now. Well, there was a little bit of armor again repaired. A little bit. There it is. That was a long one. That took a while. That definitely took a while. This is why I like the way how the game worked in the old days, because battles like these were almost every battle was like this back then. You actually had to be smart about how you approach things. You can't just click implant, click weapon, and destroy a ship. That wasn't working that way back then. And the best part is this wasn't even a fairly expensive BHAALGORN, a fairly cheap ship, yet it still tanked really well. And well, that was a fun encounter. This is why the video's title is called the way it is, because of that little encounter. Because this particular encounter was the majority of what we have seen and encountered here. That was honestly an enjoyable experience. Not gonna lie, I think we had fun with this one. This was definitely enjoyable.
Warp drive active.
Okay, well, next target, we have a Nereus too. Well, let's see if we can catch a Nereus today. Sometimes they drop good stuff, sometimes they are empty, sometimes they don't drop a Citadel, which happened to me a couple months ago, last summer. This last summer, I was chasing a badger, I caught it, it carried a Citadel, and obviously it did not drop. So that's missed 15 to 20 billion ISK right there. I was mad. I was very mad. They cloaked, alright. There is the Nereus. Well, they cloaked, alright. Let's see if my decloak skills have leveled up. One thing I have to actually do, start to do a bit more often, is decloak. Oh, there it is. Decloaked. Nice. Let's see if we can destroy the hauler. This must be one of the worst feelings ever, to be caught by dual bubbles while in a industrial ship. So far I haven't lost any industrial ship, because I usually don't fly them. But at the same time, that can change very quickly if I start to fly those ships with my internet connection. We'll be dead within 5 minutes, actually, when I think about it. That's just how my internet is. And you can't really do anything about it, that's the worst part. 994 million, nearly a billion ISK worth of hauler, of Nereus. I mean, yeah, there are actually ships that are... there are actually ships that do focus on minerals, I believe. Well then, that would be it for today. Hope you guys enjoyed. If you would like to support me, feel free to like and subscribe. And with that, please stay safe. As always, I'll see you next time.